so many things about that night that I will never forget. It was my engagement party. I thought I'd remember it as the happiest night of my life. I left the party to go to my room at the guest house. I had a gift that I wanted Stefan to have that night. I don't remember giving it to him or what prevented me.
Do you remember being on a section of the roof edged by a parapet?
Yes, with my fiancé, with Stefan. And Laura Spencer, who was once his sister-in-law. Stefan and I were arguing. What were we arguing about? It's as if I remember the tune, but not the lyrics. I was angry, he was pleading, and then I fell.
Miss Bell, please consider very carefully. There appear to be gaps in your memory. Can you say with certainty that you fell from the parapet and were not pushed?
As I said, most of the night I remember vividly. It's just the last few moments that are a bit vague. But more and more is coming back every day. I remember leaning against the railing and the shock of feeling it give way. That's how it happened. No one pushed me.
Are you aware that Mr. Cassadine was being tried for murder?
No.
But then how do you come to be here at all?
Helena asked me to be. She saved my life. I owe her everything. However I can help her, I will.
Thank you, Miss Bell. You may step down. Court will recess for 15 minutes, at which time I will ask you to take the stand, Mrs. Cassadine.
I would be most happy to clear up any confusions, Your Honor. My late husband was a visionary. A patron not only of the arts, but of laboratory science. And our family holdings include a handful of forward-looking pharmaceutical endeavors and a dozen of the most promising investigational drugs in the world. And there's one in particular, the so-called Romeo and Juliet drug, which will revolutionize surgery in the next century. Well, the treatment, there are two treatments actually, is not without its risks, as my son knows. And he would never have agreed to its use in Catherine's case. Well, she was near death, and I was sure if I could transport her to a less hidebound medical facility, I could save her life.
With this drug? Two drugs?
That's correct.
Which do what exactly?
Well, the first injection reduces all metabolic functions to an almost undetectable level, which made it very easy for us to remove Catherine from the hospital.
Remove? How? Even allowing that Miss Bell was mistakenly declared dead. Did anyone report the body missing?
Oh, I left that to the coroner.
Excuse me?
Oh, not the one you have now, the old one, the one I bribed. I'm certain that he substituted a corpse that no one else was using.
Which was cremated and went to its eternal rest as Ms. Catherine Bell.
I see your point. But by all accounts, it was a lovely service.
Have you any idea how many laws you've already admitted to breaking?
I'm not a native here. How was I to know? Oh, and you must understand, time was of the essence. Now, the second injection, which counteracts the first injection, must be given within a very narrow window of time, or irreversible neurologic damage can be the result. And I'm happy to say we were in time.
Did it occur to you at any point in this state-of-the-art science fiction caper to inform someone that Miss Bell was alive?
Well, for the longest time, I wasn't sure that I could help her, and I certainly didn't want to raise my poor son's hopes needlessly.
Your maternal instincts overruled your judgment. Wasn't there a way to break it to him gently? For instance, son, you know, this murder charge you're facing.
Your Honor, it was so difficult to take that seriously.
Not for the rest of us, madam. If your son had been convicted, would you have mentioned it then?
Do you think I would let my Stefan suffer needlessly?
Miss Jensen, I will entertain a motion from the court to amend the charges to, well, there's so many to choose from. I'll give you till morning to get creative.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And, Miss Bell, I hereby demand that you submit yourself to such medical or dental examinations as the state may require for the verification of your identity.
Who else could I be? My evil twin? All of Stefan's women come back from the dead, don't they?
Court will adjourn till 10 o'clock in the morning.
Catherine?
Not here, not now.
You can't just walk away.
I'll come to you when I'm ready.
Why are you doing this? Why? Why did I ever relent? I should have kept you under lock and key for the rest of your miserable life. Who do you think you are, Mother? Hera, Queen of Olympus, dispensing life and death in potions and charms? You could have killed her!
Yes, but unlike you, I wasn't trying to. I'm always so jealous. What do you care if I finally have a confidant and a companion? You have your own true love back again. Enjoy her.
Uncle!
Stefan, let her go. Let the system have her. Body snatching is not a minor offense.
Will she be in prison long enough to rot?
I better find Catherine.
Let her go.
I'm sure she's exhausted.
Vera, look, you have to know that we didn't know anything about this.
Look, why don't you all take experimental drugs and go into comas? Then that way, maybe you wouldn't be wasting my time and the taxpayers' money working out your dysfunction in the courtroom.
San Diego.
Well, assume nothing. You understand? Get back to me. It doesn't matter what time. Good morning. Catherine will be here any moment.
You spoke to her?
Oh, security just called.
You didn't sleep last night, huh?
No.
Did the investigator come up with anything?
Nothing that contradicts what Helena and Catherine said in the courtroom yesterday. I still can't believe that she's alive.
I know, one minute I'm thrilled, and the next I'm furious that Helena did this. I mean, she plots a murder, so it looks as if you did it. And then whatever kills Catherine, and we all think she's dead and go through hell trying to deal with that and grieve it and get through it. And then you're arrested and put through a trial, and yesterday we find out Catherine's not really dead, and somehow she seems to think Helena's the good guy.
Well, Helena is not the good guy. We must understand that Catherine has only heard Helena's version of events for the past few months, and we can only imagine what that is.
I'd say it was brainwashing.
My point precisely.
So explain that to her.
If she'll listen.
Well, she has to listen. You have to make her listen.
Thank you, Mrs. Lansbury. Morning, Nikolas. Stefan. Here I am, back from the dead.
Oh, easy, please.
I'm sorry. Did I hurt you?
No, I'm fine, really. Just mending a little bit, but I'm fine.
So good to see you.
Yes.
Well, I can see that you're on your way out, so I don't want to keep you.
And I'm sure you want to be with my uncle, so I'll leave you alone as soon as I'm sure you know how much I missed you. Both of us.
I missed you too, Nikolas.
Just want to hug you.
He's right. It is a miracle to see you standing there. It's the answer to all my prayers.
Let's be honest. You haven't been praying about me at all. You've been busy thinking about somebody else. That's the first I knew that I'd been declared dead.
It was 2 days ago.
Yes.
Well, doesn't that tell you something? About Helena? Where did you think I was for the past 3 months? Did you honestly believe I would leave you in the care of my mother? That I wouldn't want to be with you night and day?
Can you honestly tell me that you didn't want to be with somebody else the last 3 months?
Catherine, I was arrested. I spent weeks in the city jail. I had to grovel in order to be allowed to attend your memorial.
I had tubes coming out of me and stuck in me. I was in and out of consciousness for days at a time. How many times have you had a spinal tap in your life, Stefan? Don't tell me that you were in jail, because I was in hell.
And I would have walked into that hell had I known you were alive. This is pure Helena.
She saved my life.
Catherine, she did not save your life. She loosened that railing. She caused your fall. And she did it purposely to frame me so that she could become regent to Nikolas.
Oh, I remember now. Helena is to blame for all the sins that you commit. If she tried to kill me, then why'd she turn around and save me? Because she didn't really want me dead. I don't think anybody wanted me dead, except maybe you.
I did not do this.
Not directly, but indirectly. Someone wanted revenge against you, but poor, pitiful idiot that I am got in the way.
Poor, pitiful. This is her voice. She has brainwashed you.
No, you did. By making me believe that you really loved me. Nikolas doesn't know, does he?
There is nothing for Nikolas to know.
I found out the truth that night, Stefan. I never stood a chance, did I?
Catherine, you have been misled by Helena's manipulations.
Her manipulations? Was it her idea to lie about the portrait? Or the engagement ring?
The painting was for Nikolas.
You hid it from me. I found it, and you lied about it.
Because you were already upset.
Was I upset when you lied about the engagement ring, or that it had been in your family for generations, or the dress, or both dresses for that matter, or every gift you ever gave me, probably? None of them were about me. They were always about her.
That is untrue.
You didn't want me. You never did. It was always Laura. You were trying to turn me into her. And you want to tell me the truth? You start right now and you admit it.
I wanted you to be my wife.
Why? Because you loved me? Funny. You never said so. Only once when you came to Serenity to convince me to come back. After that, you cared for me, or you admired me, or you found solace in me. It was like a broken record. How many times you thanked me for loving you? Except you never managed to say that you loved me. I can't tell you how many times I asked myself, how on earth did I miss that? It took lying in a hospital bed trying to rebuild my life for me to finally hear what you weren't saying. You never said you loved me because you never did. You could lie about everything else, but not your love. Why was that? It was okay for you to give me everything that was Laura's, but not your heart. You saved that for her. And her alone. And I gave you everything I had.
You've been listening to lies.
The night of our engagement party, I stopped listening to you.
Catherine, I wanted to marry you. I wanted to build a life with you, only you.
You wanted her. Nikolas's mother. How has it been having her back? Nikolas's mother. Tell me something. Did you ever really intend to marry me? Or was it all just a ruse to get Laura back, to make her jealous? Because it certainly seemed to have worked.
Laura missed her family, including Nikolas. She came back for them.
Oh, give me a break. She came back for you just like you wanted her to. I was nothing more than a tool.
Again, that's Helena talking.
It's the truth. You used me, and now you're done. Go ahead. Pretend you still want to marry me.
What did she do to you?
Scared? You're free to be with Laura now. Just be careful. I got everything I ever wanted once. Almost killed me.
Cat?
Good. I'll have a chance to say goodbye. I never wanted either one of you to ever see me in a wheelchair again. So I asked that no one be told until I could come back this way. I had no idea what was going on here until 2 days ago. I didn't know about Stefan's arrest or the trial. It must have been terrible for you.
Catherine, you're alive, okay? The rest of that is... What did you mean earlier about saying goodbye?
Just that things have changed between Stefan and me. I read about the trial in the newspaper.
Catherine?
Don't argue his case for him. And as for you, I want to pick up where we left off. I don't want things to change between us. I want us to remain friends.
You're more than just a friend to me. I love you.
Glad to hear that. Because I love you too.
Oh, I don't want to hurt you. I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt you.
You won't hurt me.
I'm so glad you're alive.
Excuse me? May I help you? Oh. It's you.
I didn't realize anyone was home. I hope I haven't disturbed you.
Well, it was a little surprising to look out and see somebody standing in the garden.
I just wanted to get a last look at Granny Mae's old rose garden.
A last look?
You know, you and your family have made this house your own. But that will always be Granny Mae to me. My father, too, you know, he was buried under those bushes over there. There's not much left of them now.
Well, there's the Ward house and Mary Mae's music. And there's you.
Yeah, there's me. You know, when I was a kid, I used to visit Granny Mae most summers. I would sit down at her feet while she worked in the garden, right over there. I remember one day, she handed me a rose. She said that it was proof that people had souls. Or we wouldn't work so hard just to grow something for the sheer beauty of it. That was Granny May. When she was tending that garden, she was tending to me. She's just hoping that I would grow up into something that she could be proud of. Would you mind terribly if I came in just for a moment?
So, Justice, what is this all about?
Well, I came by to make peace with Granny May. I just thought maybe I could do the same with you. These past few weeks, and working again on a murder trial, and seeing you up there on the stand, fighting for Stefan Cassadine's freedom, it brought back a strong sense of deja vu.
My trial for the murder of Damien Smith.
Yeah, a time when your own freedom was at stake. When one word from your attorney, me, could have spared you everything.
Well, you know, there are some big differences. For one thing, Damien Smith didn't come back from the dead to declare anyone innocent the way Catherine has.
I would have come forward just as I told you. I mean, of course, that's no excuse. It's like every other decision I've made in the last few years, my keeping silent about what I had done would have broken Granny May's heart.
Are you saying if she had lived that you would have chosen differently?
I'm not sure. I know that if there's any blessing in Granny May's death, it's the fact that she doesn't know what a mockery I've made of the family legacy.
You know, I'm not sure what you're after here, Justice. Absolution? I don't know if I can do that for you.
I know.
I mean, I wasn't the only casualty. My family suffered horribly.
And mine was betrayed. I mean, look, those victims weigh on my conscience almost as heavily as you do. I mean, I really am sorry. If it helps.
Well, I do know what it's like to take a wrong turn with the best of intentions to protect the people we love. You know, if Mary May had lived, she would have forgiven you. You know that, don't you?
I do. But, you know, that would have almost made it worse. I mean, it would have been better if you had been found guilty of Damien's murder. Then I would have confessed and I would be paying for my crime.
Oh, Justice, I think you are. Lulu is still napping. I can't believe it.
Innocence. The ultimate sleeping pill. Well, what I've come to say has been said. There's no point in asking for forgiveness when I can't forgive myself. All I ask is...
What?
Just remember what it was like when we were friends. And we're good friends. We were, Laura.
I know. Justice? It sounds like you're going away.
I went away a long time ago.
I thought you knew. That you were alive? Yes, I heard. It's just a little different to turn around and see you standing in my kitchen. Well, please come in. It's awfully hot outside. God, you look fabulous.
Well, compared to a corpse. It's been quite an experience coming back from the dead. We'll have to compare notes sometime. I haven't frightened you, have I?
No, it's just that, well, you know, the last time I saw you, we were on the parapet.
Ugh, don't go to those memories. I know that you had nothing to do with what happened. I'm not blaming you for the fall or anything else. I know that you came to Windermere that night because of Nikolas.
So then you know that Nikolas had been to see me in North Carolina.
I read the trial coverage in the paper. After the fact, of course.
Catherine, the only reason I went to the ball that night was to make sure that Nikolas was all right.
I know. And I admire the bridge that you have built to your son. I hope nothing ever shakes that.
You know, Catherine, you know, it's actually difficult for me to remember what happened that night. I mean, I can only imagine what it must be like for you. I mean, first finding me in your bedroom without any warning, and then what we talked about, and then out on the parapet. I read the newspaper account of what you said in court. You mentioned something about your memory being a little hazy around the fall. Well, you know, I just want you to know that should you remember anything that troubles you, I would be happy to help you with it.
You know, I do remember one moment. During the fall, my body weightless, and my mind thought, oh dear, I didn't have a chance to say goodbye. So I think I might have a look around town, see what's new since I died.
You know, there are some people who think that she orchestrated the whole thing to get Stefan out of the way by framing him for your murder.
Helena didn't loosen that railing.
Maybe not personally.
Not even indirectly. Think about it, Laura. It doesn't make any sense. If Helena hadn't taken drastic measures to get me out of the hospital, I would have died. Why would she plot to kill me, come so close, and turn around and save my life?
You know, I learned a long time ago that one of the ways that evil works is to confuse, and I can assure you, Helena Cassadine is evil. Right now, she's seducing you. She's only letting you see what she wants you to see. But there will come a time when you wake up in the center of a minefield, and you won't know which way to turn.
You and Stefan should get together. You know, in some cultures, if a person saves your life, they own it. I understand from Helena that Luke is away. You must miss him. When you speak to him, will you please give him my best? I heard he came to my memorial service. That was so nice of him. I hope he comes back soon. Goodbye.
Hello, Mrs. Lansbury. This is Laura Spencer. Is Stefan there, please? Will you please tell him that I called and to call me back as soon as possible? It's very important. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. I know it wasn't your first choice.
Well, with Helena out on bail, I thought a visit might be a little safer than a phone call. Where is Nikolas?
Well, he's in the study with his tutor. He can't hear us. Though, if you'd prefer more privacy. I am sorry if recent developments with Helena and Catherine have so aroused your fears.
I'm not frightened for myself. I am frightened for our son.
Well, you needn't be. I continue to take the necessary precautions to protect Nikolas. Helena is watched more closely than she knows. And quite frankly, Catherine has no heart for violence.
The one that you knew didn't, but the one saved by Helena trusts her so-called rescuer completely. She made that very clear when she visited me.
Well, I wouldn't read too much into that. Even the old Catherine wasn't above saying things for effect.
I think she meant it, Stefan. And it was as good as a warning. Catherine is now Helena's to use as she sees fit. I know your mother. She's already got something in mind.
There is no denying it. Some bizarre bond now exists between Catherine and my mother. Catherine seems quite altered by it.
How did your first meeting with her go?
Well, she was rather unpleasant. To me. With Nikolas, she was as affectionate as ever. I doubt she remembers anything from the moments just before she fell, including any conclusions she may have drawn about us.
I'm not so certain about that. I asked her what she remembered about that night, and she evaded my questions as smoothly as Helena might. If she remembers that you are Nikolas's father, that means that Helena knows. And if that's true, then Nikolas could be in terrible, terrible danger.
Masha, I am almost certain Helena knows nothing. If she did, she would have raised the issue or moved against Nikolas by now.
Well, then, what's your take on this? Is Catherine just bluffing?
She's been hurt. She probably wants to hurt me back. Helena is poised to take advantage of that.
I'm sorry. It must be a bitter irony for you.
It is difficult. The woman I was going to marry knew I would never hurt her. I have no wish to be at war with Catherine. But if I am, I will win.
Catherine swears that she bears no grudge against me. Should I take that at face value?
Perhaps she realizes she can't blame you for the things I left unsaid. I never told Catherine I loved her. The night of the ball, she found out why. I think a woman knows when she's loved, without the words.
I'm sure that Catherine knew how you felt.
I will see to it that no one harms our son. Not Helena, not anyone. So please don't let this latest skirmish in the family wars discourage you from spending time here with Nikolas.
Oh, this is a surprise?
Well, a pleasant one, I hope.
Yeah. For you.
Good. It's nice to see you. I'm glad I had a chance to say hello before I left.
Where's,
She's home.
Uncle, convince her to stay a while.
I'm sure you'll have no trouble doing that. The Cassadines are not completely without charm. I, on the other hand, have business in town. Good morning. Thank you.
Seeing Catherine alive is just... There's really no other word for it. It's a miracle.
I know you were pretty close to her.
It was. But it's different now. Especially between her and my uncle. I mean, I'm sure that he still loves her. But what she felt for him is just... it's just gone.
Nikolas, I think a lot of things have changed for her.
Yeah. She had nothing but kind words for you, though, about your testimony at the trial. Which reminds me, I never had a chance to tell you what that meant to me.
You don't have to.
Yeah, I do. I just don't know how. I could say that I'm grateful for my uncle's freedom, but it goes much deeper than that. For the first time in my life, you put what I needed ahead of
my other family.
Look, I don't want to compete with Lucky, okay?
I know.
I'm not some jealous little kid who counts how many cookies his brother gets.
I know. I don't think of you that way.
I hope that you don't.
I don't.
And I'm so sorry that your testimony made trouble for you at home.
Thank you.
But you didn't just help my uncle. You helped me too.
How?
Gave me a mother. One that comes when you need her.
I love you, Nikolas.
I know.
Wow. Come in. I've been waiting for you. Well, can I get you something? Coffee? Tea? My strategy for your downfall.
Well, that would be a poor use of my time, as your plots always fail, often tragically. And I don't want Catherine around you when that happens. She has been hurt enough.
Not by me. The poor dear. But for my intervention, she would be dead.
Whether that be true or not, it gives you no rights to her. Or whatever hold you have on Catherine, let go. She is as entitled to her freedom as she is to her life.
My God is outside this cabin. Go!
Not without Catherine.
Then, by all means, find Catherine. Offer to save her from me. She'll laugh at you even harder than I do. Catherine has become the daughter I never had, and even more mine than you ever were.
That's from me. That's from your sister.
Thank you. That reminds me, my sister, I promised Lulu a walk on the beach.
Oh.
I mean, if the weather's okay for it, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Which, have you noticed how beautiful it is today?
You really do have Stefan's knack for subtlety, don't you?
Could you bring Lulu back? I mean, I could carry her home if the day wears her out.
You know what? I think I can. Let me just go home. I have to run a couple of errands, and then I'll come right back.
Okay.
See you later.
Bye.
We're all prisoners of our obsessions, Mother. Yours is your need to control. Now, your prodigy are free of your clutches. I'm not surprised you're looking for a surrogate child to overpower. But do not use Catherine. Do not try to manipulate her to your ends.
Why not? That's what you always did.
one cousining you? Do you know that she used death threats to compel Alexis to give you that first dress? And then she had her manipulate you into giving me the bench. Helena herself sent that trunk. You knew that. Now, how can you be blind to that? How can you allow her to use you as a pawn?
While you were slipping Laura's ring on my finger, all the while lying to me about how old it was, I don't recall Helena standing there with a gun to your head. Are you saying that she forced you to do that, or to give me Laura's ball gown and insist that I wear it? While you see Helena manipulating me, I see her testing you. And thank God she did, because you failed miserably.
You're wrong. We can't do this here, Catherine. Please, come with me. We need some time together, just the two of us.
Stefan, going someplace to speak with you in private would only serve one purpose. And it would be yours, not mine.
What has happened to you? I don't even know who you are.
That's exactly how I felt on the parapet. Although, in a sense, I found out exactly who you are, didn't I?
Well, this is of no use. Perhaps another time, when you're not under her spell.
I stopped by the police station today to pick up my belongings that were used as evidence in your trial. Laura's ball gown that you insisted I wear is ruined, but I would give it back to her if you like. But, this, I want to keep. Laura's emerald engagement ring that you said you were giving me as a symbol of your undying love. Just so I'm clear, undying love for whom?
Laura, hi, come in, please. How's life?
Estranged. But knowing you, you know that already.
I hear things.
You don't believe them all, I hope.
Are you kidding? Please, sit down.
Thanks. So what are you doing back here?
Well, something happened to Robin, and, well, I didn't like the way it was handled, so I took the job. What can I do for you?
Well, first of all, let me congratulate you on your marriage. It's about time.
Thank you.
I have a favor to ask. You know, Luke left town right after I testified for Stefan Cassadine in the trial. And, well, I was just wondering that, you know, if you heard anything about him, anything at all, I would really appreciate a call.
I can junk something into the central computer that'll latch onto his name should it surface anywhere. If I get a bite, I'll let you know.
Thank you. And thanks for not asking any questions. Listen, while I'm on a roll here, there's one more thing. I'm a little concerned that somebody might think that Lucky is a runaway, and I just want you and your people to know that I'm aware he's living on his own right now, and it is something that he needs to do, so I'm willing to leave the situation as it is for now. But if he were to get in trouble, I mean, I would certainly want to be contacted.
Well, Luke came by a couple months ago and made the same request. Is there anything else?
No.
So, how are you? Honestly.
I've been better. I've been worse. I've been dead. I think a little thing like missing my family wouldn't bother me so much.
One of the most painful things that ever happens to you, huh?
Tony, I'm in the middle of a meeting. Look, if you want to see me, you can make an appointment.
No, it's okay. I was just on my way out. Wow. It's been too long.
Yes, it has. Let's see, since the last time we saw each other, I've lost my reputation, my career, the dexterity in my hand to perform surgery, and a child that I thought was my own, and Mac, what else? Was it, oh, the right in the eyes of the law to see my son. Have you heard about all this?
Yeah, I've sort of kept up. How are you?
Dandy.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Mac, thank you for everything.
Laura, could you stay? I mean, I don't have a problem with you hearing this. In fact, I would appreciate the perspective as a parent. Mac, I've been a model citizen for several months. I mean, what more, what else do I have to do to convince people that I am stable enough to have a relationship with my son?
Tony, you don't have to convince any people.
Hi. I'm sorry I'm late.
Felicia, what are you doing here?
Hi, Laura.
Hi.
I asked Felicia to come. It's sort of like a Senate hearing, you know, where you pool your witnesses to support your cause. Thank you.
I had to make a stop first. It would be in your best interest to be mature about it.
Moments in.
Oh, look, two of my favorite people.
I asked her to be here. She's my friend, too. And I don't want to lose her any more than I want to lose you. And I'm tired of being stuck in the middle.
Well, you should have said no when I asked you to come down.
You know, I really think that I should be going.
No, Laura, you're a mother. No one would argue that you would move heaven and earth to make your kids safe. So could you just give me a little perspective here on Bobby slamming me with a protection order that says I can't communicate with my son and encourages him to forget that I even exist?
Oh, this should be good.
All prejudice aside, I think that the problems between the parents shouldn't be thrown upon the kids.
Thank you.
I guess that explains why you have such a good relationship with both of your sons.
You know something? Now I really do have to go. Tony, it was nice to see you again. Why don't you come by the house sometime so we can catch up?
Thank you, I will.
Bye.
Is it possible for us to discuss this civilly?
Bobby?
No.
Come on. I mean, there must be a legal way that I can see my son. There has to be something. Now, please.
Catherine, I have no idea what the future holds for us. But if nothing else, you must believe that I never intended to harm you. Physically, emotionally, in any way.
You know, this has such a familiar ring to it. Isn't this the same speech that you gave me after you shot me?
I came here to protect you. And to tell my mother if she wants to do battle with me, to do it with me, and not through you.
Oh, Stefan, you don't need to worry about me. I'm not as helpless as you'd like to believe. In fact, I'm moving forward, armed with the truth. A weapon I picked up on the parapet that night.
Goodbye.
Give my love to Nikolas.
I am going to say this one more time, Tony. Loud and clear, and this time you better get it. You have no legal recourse. None. Zip, nada. Do you understand? As in there is nothing you can do. The only person who can have this decision reversed is Bobby. It is completely up to her if and when you see Lucas.
As far as I know, it's not getting any cooler in hell.
So the law revolves around the vindictive actions of a complete hypocrite, doesn't it?
Tony.
I'm looking out for...
No, you're not. You're still punishing me for sleeping with that trailer trash daughter of yours who, let's not forget, the one goal that she had in mind when she came to this town was to destroy everything in your life, and you wind up in her camp and you forget every good thing that we ever had together.
No, Tony, I'm just reacting to your inappropriate behavior. Carly happens to be my daughter.
And Lucas is my son, and suddenly you're the sole arbiter of who gets to be forgiven and who doesn't, and who gets to be the loving parent, who gets to see who, when, and if, and it's crap, and you know it.
The law says she can't.
Well, the law can stay on her side, but what about Lucas? What about Lucas? Because he may not always be on your side. One day he may end up like Carly, and he thinks that he had to pay for your lousy decision.
Tony!
Well, she can say she did it to protect him, but you're still gonna have one mad kid on your hands, because I will never stop loving him, and he will always know that, and he's gonna know that you're the one that stopped him from loving me. You gave up one daughter, and you scarred her for life. Do you have to scar your other child, too?
You're out of line.
Well, no, I'm not. Somebody has to say that. I got nothing to lose here, you know. All Lucas is gaining right now is Jerry Jackstow. That's a towering figure of a father, isn't it? It's a real prize.
Well, that man certainly knows how to sweet-talk a girl into changing her mind, doesn't he?
He's hurting. And so do you. Do you want to go grab a cup of coffee?
No, thanks. I want to go see my son.
Right.
Hey, thanks for the heads up.
I'll call you.
Okay. I know.
Goodbye, Bobby. Boy, and all I thought I had to do today was come in and work.
Now it's quitting time.
I thought I'd stay a little later in case you were working on your novel.
No, done for the day. I did get a lot of grist for the mill in here.
Oh, really? Well, I better watch myself. Next thing you know, you'll be cannibalizing me.
Well, I'm about to write a hot, torrid love scene.
Say no more.
Matt.
I know just the place that you can do your research.
What are you doing?
You said torrid, right?
Really torrid.
All right, ready?
Mm-hmm. Oh, come on, start on the first page, please.
All right.
Oh, my goodness. How old are you there?
There, I'm about 11. Yeah, 11.
What were you doing?
You know there's about 1 million of these in here. We can't look at every one of them.
Well, we can start, can't we? So what were you doing?
Uncle was teaching me how to dive.
From there?
Well, he wanted me to learn how to test my eye, my courage, and my strength, I think it was.
Oh, my God. Were you ever hurt?
You're such a mother.
That one I know is not you. Stefan used to like to dive, too, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Wow, that's a great picture.
Thank you.
You?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm impressed. I remember that place.
The wild garden.
Just down from the cliffs, right? It's all protected.
Protected and ignored.
Nikolas? Hello.
Hey.
Hello, Leslie Lou. The launch pilot told me you were here.
Laura said that she would bring her back, and she did, so, yeah.
So I see.
And I think we should probably be going now, so how about if we pack up our crayons and we catch a boat?
No, I'm afraid I sent the captain on an assignment.
You should stay for dinner. We insist, right?
Yes. Yes, unless you have other plans.
Well, no, we don't.
Well, then it's settled. I'll alert Mrs. Lansbury.
No, I already did. We were just looking at
pictures
photographs.
of...
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Lulu, look how silly your brother was.
Now, you said you wouldn't laugh. That goes for you, too.
We're not laughing, are we? But it is silly.
Mrs. Lansbury?
Nikolas, do not shout.
Did Catherine let on that she and Helena knew anything?
About Nikolas? She did say that she was moving forward, armed with the truth. A weapon she picked up on the parapet that night.
Okay, we got the right tape. And someone is making a surprise dinner for you. Mrs. Lansbury, yes. What? Look at that. Uncle Stefan almost smiled.
Beg your pardon? There we go. It pleases me to see you happy.
Yeah, well, I am.
Nikolas, I need to warn you about Catherine. I have spoken to her again, and she is still not open to me. She continues to be unduly swayed by Helena. I want you to keep that in mind when you see her.
I will. Lulu, pick out a crayon. I want you to put a date on my portrait, okay?
She can sign her name, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, right here.
This can be useful.
My thoughts exactly.
How did the move into the Quartermain mansion go?
Like clockwork. I'm still surprised how easily it went.
I told you that Edward would ask you to move in.
Yes, you did. But so quickly. Oh, I wish you could have seen the look on the family's faces.
The Quartermains will be important allies against Stefan all that much sooner. Oh, I am dying to drop in on Edward.
That's just the beginning.
Stop fooling around with my help.
Who's she talking to?
If I order a BLT, can you keep her from putting it on whole wheat and smothering it with mayo?
Well, if I don't tell her it's for you.
You know, she needs to make up her mind if she want to fatten me up or starve me back home.
You know, I am seeing progress. Last week when you were in here, her eyes got all narrow and she said, he's eating somewhere. Hey.
Hey, what? You know, on the other hand, it's not too late for breakfast. Do you think she'd let me have blueberry pancakes, or does it have to be whole wheat?
I got you.
There was a spider on your...
Oh, sure,
no,
a likely story.
It's filling up your hair now. Oh, no, that's not good. Lulu, where did you come from?
She's gonna spend a little time with Aunt Ruby while I run some errands. Hi, Liz.
Hey, it's good to see you.
You too.
Excuse me for a minute.
Lulu, you know what? Will you carry that inside for Liz?
Thank you. I'll keep an eye on her.
Thanks.
Come on. Hey.
At the risk of sounding like a mother, shouldn't you be in school right now?
Half day. Gotta love September. They ease you into it.
September does seem to be agreeing with you. Miss Franklin hasn't retired yet.
You had her too?
Oh, yes. I liked her. But then again, I would like anybody who passed me. So who do you have for English?
Ms. Brunell. She's new. Red hair, but she seems okay.
Lucky, please come home. Look, I don't want to antagonize you. You know, being able to sit here with you and talk about school, your teachers, and, you know, whatever else pops into our heads, it means everything in the world to me. But I'm scared. I wake up in the middle of the night and I check the thermometer. It's dipped down below 45 degrees the past 2 nights in a row. You need a roof over your head, you know? A warm bed to sleep in, and a few hot meals, a place to do your homework. I mean, can we try it? At least? I mean, obviously you don't have to worry about the friction between you and your father right now, for the time being anyway. You could pay rent, make you feel better. I'm alienating you. I hate that. I just couldn't help myself. I had to say something. I'm sorry.
No. You know, you're not alienating me. But I'm fine. Mom, can I tell you something? Can you try to really hear it? I mean, hear it the way I mean it.
I'll try.
I'm okay. I have a job, little money coming in. I have places where I can eat, places where I can wash my clothes. I have a place to shower and brush my teeth. I go to school with nobody yelling at me to go. And I'm not walking around outraged all the time. You and Dad aren't who I thought you were. That's a fact. There's no getting around that. But my guts aren't churning over it around the clock.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
And I'm not so outraged. Or I'm not on guard with myself anymore. Whatever you and Dad did, I'm not doomed. I don't have to repeat it, or make up for it, or even understand it. See, I was putting that weight on me. But no more.
Wow. A lot's changed.
Not really. Just the way I think about it.
That's the biggest change of all. And it's the hardest one to make.
Where'd Lucky go?
I don't know. I guess, you know, we had a nice talk with each other, and he maybe just didn't want to push his luck.
Oh, Ruby's showing off Leslie Lou to everybody in the place.
Great. You look wonderful.
Thanks. I think I finally stopped feeling like a freak. Something else has taken the place of being the most important thing in my life. And I am so happy.
So am I.
Thank you. For what?